So I'm King Nico. I'm a leader of the resistance and a leader of God's army. So there's many of us, but here I am. I'm here telling you all what's going on. Wow, what a week it's been. A couple weeks, but especially the last week. Me coming on here, making all these lives, and just going with it. Exposing everything that I have seen over the past few years and putting it all together to bring it and show you how and what Astral World was and who Travis Scott is and who Travis Scott serves and him and his whole posse, all these celebs, all these false idols. So again, welcome everyone. Wow, already everyone's jumping on in. I appreciate everything that's been happening with this whole awakening. You know, I thought the awakening should have happened a long time ago, but everyone has different stages. I've received so many of you messages, emails, calls. I've spoken to a lot of you. Hello, everyone. I see you all. J7, Raging River. So yeah, I'm here. I'm dedicating my whole life to this, to bringing everyone the truth and saving as many, to seeking out the 144,000 of Revelation, because as I've shown you and told you, we are in Revelation. This is the biblical end of days, and I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but in all honesty, it's great news. So as we witness High Prince Garcia, as we witness the New World Order take over, as we feel and see all around us the devil's playground becoming more clear, right? So today in Ontario, Pfizer and all those companies have approved their stuff for 5-year-olds and up. So it's getting a lot worse. Satan is coming for the children, and in the next few months, by the end of winter, they'll be approving it for 6-month-old babies and up. So Raging River says this concert was a huge red pill for so many of us. Exactly. Like I said, everyone had their moments depending how our age and everything, and it's just, we got to be patient with everyone. I woke up, I've been awake pretty much my whole life. I know some people woke up, depending on their age, during the Kennedy assassination. We had the moon landing and the dial-up phone call conversation to the moon from the Oval Office, ridiculous. Then we had 9/11, huge red pill for so many people, including like the Matrix movies and a lot of these pre-programming and showing you what's going to happen before it happens, spellbound movies. And yeah, so now we have the pandemic, which is all tied into what happened at Astral World. So again, March 2020, I met lots of people that just woke up because they saw that the governments around the world showed their hands and that they were full on satanic New World Order, and it was very clear. So yes. And who is behind all of this evil, right? And as the title of this video is Travis Scott, a fallen angel. So we're going to go into the book of Enoch, because that explains everything. And again, yeah, I have hair. I started the video without a hat on because I do know I wear a hat pretty much 24/7. So I wanted you all to see that I have hair. I'm not bald or hiding anything under here. So, Book of Enoch, I have it right here. I also got a great video to play along to show you guys that we can look at, so I don't have to do all the talking. So we're gonna go quickly to my YouTube channel, because it's been fantastic what we have all accomplished. This isn't my show. For you first timers, this is our show. Everyone here, welcome to the resistance. You are now a crusader of the resistance. I'm going to show you This channel, we have reached, King Nico has reached 3.8 million people or impressions on channels, right? Got over 1.7 million more views than usual. 1.3 million unique viewers. So for you first timers and unique viewers, subscribe to the channel. We are the resistance. We are fast on the rise now. As evil sweeps this world, God's army is pulling together and we are rising. So it's decision-making time. You know, do you want to play along, comply to the New World Order, let them put the chip in you, which we know is the mark of the beast? Or are you going to join the resistance, you know, resist, defy, do not comply, and march on with God protecting all of us, because God has nothing to do with the New World Order. That's all Satan's business, right? So that should be pretty clear to everyone here. So again, I'm so thankful. It's about time I started to speak up and tell you what I've known and seen for years. I've tried, but the censorship, and for all of you lot that have just been speaking out and sharing truth and have seen these platforms, because yeah, we're on the platform. So what we're doing here is we're fighting fire with fire. You know, we're using the devil's platform to expose the devil. So thank you. We need to reach more people. Mary Pro says, hello, everyone. Again, this is a blessing. Again, as evil, is sad what happened, but people want answers. And here we are. So yeah, engagement, audience, 4.3 thousand new subscribers, new crusaders. So if you want to be a crusader of the resistance, subscribe, follow along with me, follow all my socials. On Facebook, I'm a freedom fighter here in Canada. So, you know, I fight alongside and with the real Chris Sky. Join the resistance.ca. So tomorrow we're heading to Niagara Falls for the worldwide rally. The resistance will be there. So follow along my channel, my page, King Nico. A lot of you already know. You've messaged me. I've spoken to a lot of you. You've given me so much great information in my email, crusadersoftheresistance@gmail.com. Right? Okay, so Travis Scott. We got this album called Birds in the Trap, Sing McKnight. And it was released September 2nd, 2016. So, and I'm going to show you the album cover now. Should be familiar with it by now. Sorry, this is not the lights or glaring off the screen. So as you can see on the cover, Travis Scott is obviously here depicting a fallen angel. There's the wings. They look kind of damaged. He's smoking. He doesn't care, because that's fallen angel. So we're going to get into the book of Enoch. I got it right here. And in order to understand what is happening in the world, because I've spoken to a lot of you are newly awake, a lot of you have known about this. There's a lot of intelligent, born agains, true followers of Christ here that I've spoken to and found. So again, we have to expose who and what the enemy is. And in order to do that, we have to know where they came from. We have to know the true history, not the fake history. So in order to choose God over whatever this New World Order is, we have to expose who controls it. So everyone's saying, oh, it's satanic, it's the devil, but no one really knows what that is. So I know what that is, and a lot of others do, but I'm sure many are just probably don't believe yet. Oh, the devil, this red demon with a pitchfork in hell, No, that's not true. That's all false. Satan, the devil, if anyone doesn't already know yet, is Lucifer. And Lucifer is or was an angel in the heavens, but fell. And they ruled on heaven and on earth. They ruled here on earth. They recreated a heaven on earth. As we can see, I'm going to show you in the book of Enoch. It was Lucifer and a bunch of leaders, Semyaza, Azazel. 200 angels fell after Lucifer, so there's 201 of them. So if anyone knows about Event 201. And yeah, they wreaked havoc on this earth for around 1,500 years, and then God flooded it. A real flood, sentenced them to await trial, judgment day. They're not yet in hell. They're in purgatory or limbo. And because of this, they were able to escape through the astral world portal, right? Astral world portal. What was the whole point of this portal? Why was all this rituals happening? Why was it 666 months after the founding of the Church of Satan? So yeah, this was the process. This is who and what made them do it. Demon possessed people like Travis Scott and Drake and all these false celebrity idols. So here we go. So we know, I showed you chapter 6 in the book of Enoch. It shows you that the angels came, fell to earth because they lusted after human women. There's their leader, Semyaza. They made a pact, right? To follow through with this sin because they knew there was no turning back, and they knew that it was forbidden for them to leave the heavens. So there's the names of the leaders. So there's more than one leader that led 200 angels. Right? So here's the archangels. So we have fallen angels and we have archangels. That's the difference. So the fallen angels are the 201 angels, including Lucifer, Satan, that fell from heaven. I'm going to show you exactly who and what they are, what happened, and how we are where we are today, and what's going to happen next. And then there's the archangels, right? The angels that obviously did not go through with it, that knew that it was the biggest sin they could ever commit. So they stayed in the heavens, and this is them. So that Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth. Right? And then they said one to another, the earth made without inhabitant cries, the voice of their crying up to the gates of heaven. So, this is how, when they decided that enough was enough. So it was Azazel. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou, and all things are naked and open in thy sight. And thou seest all things, and nothing can hide itself from thee. And thou seest what Azazel hath done, who hath taught all unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven, which men were striving to learn. And Semyaza, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associates. And they have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth, and have slept with the women, and have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sins. And the women have borne giants, the Nephilim, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. And now, behold, the souls of those who have died are crying and making their suit to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended, and cannot cease because of the lawless deeds which are wrought on the earth. Exactly, Joseph. Thank you. Yeah. 201 fallen angels, like that's where the 201 is coming in. And thou knowest all things before thy past come to pass. And thou seest these things, and thou dost suffer them. And thou dost not say to us what we are to do to them in regard to these. So right, I'm going to show you a video, which is exactly where we are now, chapter 9 and 10 of the book of Enoch. This is great. So this is from the channel, The Legends of History. It's got over 658,000 subscribers. So that's very impressive. So he's got some amazing content, millions of views. So we're going to go over chapter 9 that he has here of Enoch.
In the last episode of the Book of Enoch, we saw the Watchers descend from the heavens to have their way with the mortal women. This of course went against their original purpose, that is, to watch, and to never interfere with the antics of man. After some deliberation, however, the Watchers succumb to their desires, and Earth is plunged upon by these wicked angels. But after having had their way with the mortal women, the women gave birth to great giant monsters, known as Nephilim, that were just as wicked as their angelic fathers, if not more so. They wreaked havoc on the land, destroyed homes, fed upon the crops, the animals, and even the people. Before long, these beasts had even turned
Hi, Nikki.
and were devouring each other's flesh in violent spectacles. But this wasn't the most insidious event taking place at this time. For around the earth, Azazel, one of the Watchers, had taken it upon himself to teach men how to make swords, knives, shields, and armor, and worse yet, how to use them. He taught men to kill each other, taught them warfare and strategy and barbarity. Amongst this, the other Watchers, including their leader Semjaza, taught the humans alchemy, enchantments, sorcery, and knowledge that God had not intended for man to use. With this, the world turned to chaos, and amongst the destruction of the Nephilim, the cries of the humans went up to the heavens. Here, those very cries are heard by the Archangels Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel, who gaze down from above and see the carnage upon earth. They say to one another, "The earth, made without inhabitant, cries the voice of their cryings up to the gates of heaven. And now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men make their suit, saying, 'Bring our cause before the Most High.'" And this is the archangels interpreting the cries of the mortals and understanding the severity of what is going on, so much so that they realize they need to inform God. And so it is to the Lord they go and tell him, "Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, and God of the ages, the throne of thy glory standeth unto all the generations of the ages, and thy name, holy and glorious and blessed unto all the ages. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou, and all things are naked and open in thy sight, and thou seest all things, and nothing can hide itself from thee." So yes, before actually telling God of the urgent matters on earth, they proceed to hype him up a little, and ensure that they pay the proper respect to God, showing us that they, unlike the Watchers, revere him, and would never do anything of the sort that they have. In this, the text provides us with a clear distinction between Watchers and Archangels, in that Archangels are loyal, God-fearing, and forever under his command. The Watchers, on the other hand, are evidently quite the opposite. They then tell God of the crimes that have been committed, saying, "Thou seest what Azazel hath done, who hath taught all unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven,
Sup,
which
Luis?
men were striving to learn." It's quite interesting that of all the things going down on earth at this time, they first identify Azazel and assign much of the responsibility onto him. He becomes the sole watcher who has taught the mortals unrighteousness, and he becomes responsible for teaching them the eternal secrets, something which the other watchers were also complicit in, according to the previous chapters.
So yeah, Azazel. He's been in a few movies. There's one of those movies, I saw it in one of the house with a clock in its walls. I couldn't believe it when I saw it, right? It's with Jack Black and it's about magic and sorcery and they're a bunch of warlocks, right? So, oh, SM00, S'more. Yep, good day, you're on live. Sorry, my throat. So, house with a clock in its walls. Jack Black's teaching his nephew about magic and sorcery, and they fully show Azazel. So yeah, and I see that you guys are talking about a movie called Fallen, and Barack Obama was Azazel. Yeah, you need to subscribe to Joseph Aquaviva 2222's channels. He gives you the codes, the gematria, for the new people. You've seen a lot of the numbers. You've seen them go into the chat. Gematria is the practice of coding words and letters and numbers and stuff, right? Claudia Caminiti, good day, good evening. So obviously, the numbers are very important. A lot of people don't understand the numbers, but I'm going to tell you, we're going to help show you and understand it because it's absolutely important. It's how everything is coded. Joseph Aquaviva just says, the fallen angels equals 666. So like I'm showing you and exposing you and how the mark of the beast, the number of the beast is the number of man, which is 666. And that's what Satan will be using to enforce the mark of the beast. These are the angels. They're in the book of Enoch. They were in the Bible, but then it was taken out. And this is why, because they don't want you to fully know who's responsible and who's in charge of the evil that they're obviously working through and doing now. So the numbers. So we're going to go to the King James Bible. And there's a book in the Bible called Numbers, right? Why would there be a book in the Bible called Numbers? So again, I'm exposing the enemy here. So in order to understand first that we're at war, we have to know who we're up against, who the enemy is, in order to fight wisely and in order to understand what the Bible was telling us and telling us how to cover ourselves in the blood of Jesus and have no fear and just know the truth. This is the truth. So we're going to continue to go through chapter 9, chapter 10, and 11. Trust me, they're short, but very, very important, showing you who and what these angels are and were, and how that they're obviously immortal. They've been held through the portal in Astral world.
Yet Azazel appears to take responsibility for this crime, possibly because it was his teaching of warfare and murder that was considered to be the worst things that mankind had learned. Indeed, whilst the previous allusions to astrology, sorcery, herb gathering, and alchemy were detested, the results of learning of murder and warfare far eclipsed the results of other lessons that the Watchers had disclosed. So whilst it's a bit unfair that Azazel takes responsibility for the other subjects that the Watchers had disclosed, he does kinda deserve it for the spreading of butchery and conflict. And furthermore, we understand that he's not accused of seducing the women, suggesting that Azazel was far more interested in spreading strife than he was his seed. Instead, Semjaza comes to bear the brunt of this transgression as the Archangels continue, and Semjaza, to who...
Sorry, for some reason it's buffering. Internet seems to be jumping out. Hopefully it doesn't mess up this live. But yeah. So Azazel was a warmonger. He just wanted to teach man to teach us, man and woman, to make weapons and how to go to war and kill each other. That's it. He didn't care to procreate and choose a wife. He just wanted to teach them war and deception. So that's where he came in, right? For some reason this thing doesn't want me to be showing this for some reason. From North Carolina, we have Regina Guyton. Hello. This is awesome to have you here. Exactly. Thank you. Curtis Lee found me because of Joseph. That's amazing. Damn, internet's playing up. So, and Samyaza, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associates, and they have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth, and have slept with the women, and have defiled themselves, and revealed them all kinds of sins. So we were all born into a fallen world. Oh, welcome, Stacy D. Getting in a bit late. Yeah, this is not too much. Happy Friday night, everyone. Internet is acting up to your voice. Oh no, my voice. Okay, so everything seems to be buffering. The internet seems to be playing up. Not sure why, but I'm sure we can understand. Lagging so much. Okay, I'm gonna end it. It's messing up. Can you guys still hear me? Sorry, we got interrupted here with some internet signal, so now it's messing with the live. So let me know if you can still hear me. Should be back on. I can see the router's right there, so all the lights are blinking. We're just gonna hang on for 1 sec before I just end it, because it seems to be back on. Okay, you guys can hear me. It's good. That's good. Okay, we got good signs. Let's get back on track. Let me say hello to some people before we continue on with it ain't lagging that bad. Truth will win. You're fine now. So yeah, just to recap what happened in the previous live. So when we were doing part 3 of the birthing ritual, right? That took place, because so much stuff happened within this festival. So that was the birthing ritual. Make sure you watch that. I got cut off when I was exactly at 5.22k subscribers, and I showed you that 522 is truth, and it was also 8:22 p.m. here in Toronto, which someone messaged me and told me that was on the west coast. That's 3 hours away. That it was 5:22 over there. So there's the two 5:22s when that happened. So you guys are good. Internet seems to be back. Let me just play this again.
Out.
Here we go.
In spreading strife, then
we're back
with the women and had defiled themselves.
I'm Joseph Akaweaver's born on 522.
Much like Samjaza had predicted in his earlier assessment of their dastardly plan, he would indeed take the brunt of the accusations, considering that he was the leader and thus should have known better, or that he should have had better control over the others. Here we also see that the sin of their copulation with the women is explicitly highlighted, as well as their guilt in revealing all kinds of sins to mankind. For once, mankind are seen as the victims, and not the instigators of said sin, and in many ways, mankind is seen as faultless. For even the archangels can see that mankind simply would not have known any better.
Thank you, Rocco.
They do not proceed to blame mankind in their declarations to God, and seem eager to condemn the Watchers for what they have done. They even speak sympathetically of the women, saying, "And the women have borne giants, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. And now behold, the souls of those who have died are crying, and making their suit to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended, and cannot cease because of the lawless deeds which are wrought on the earth." Here they reveal that they are aware of the Nephilim, and that they pity the state of the earth, for it is filled with blood and unrighteousness. They even go as far as to point out to God, as if he cannot see, that the souls of those who have died are crying, and that despite their rise to heaven, again implying that they were guiltless, they cannot find peace because of the horrors that have taken place. The archangels most certainly set themselves up as our champions, for they are outraged at the indecency that is taking place.
God bless
and
you,
even
Mary.
seem eager to set about
Marie
fixing
O'Neill.
it. They show empathy in their witnessing of the restless souls who now ascend to heaven, and seem even saddened themselves that this has transpired. Furthermore, they even come across as accusatory of God, showing us not just the passion
God bless
that they have for
Naomi.
this
It's
endeavor,
522.
but also perhaps some more human traits of disgust, shock, and concern. They tell him, "And thou knowest all things before they come to pass, and thou seest these things, and thou dost suffer them, and thou dost not say to us what we are to do to them in regard to these." This is the line that concludes chapter 9, and it really does sound like they are pointing the finger at God, saying to him that he sees everything that happens, and even knows it before it happens, and yet he has suffered them anyway. It shows us that not only are the archangels not privy to God's plan, despite their closeness to him, but that they are just as helpless as the mortals when it comes to anticipating what God will do.
Bless up, Mullah
Chapter
Mike.
10 opens with God declaring to the archangel Uriel, "Go to Noah, and tell him in my name, hide thyself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching, that the whole earth will be destroyed, and a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth,
Anunnaki
and will
Nephilim.
destroy all that is on it. And now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all the generations of the world." Here we are given a bit of a prelude to the Ark story from Genesis, and how Noah is eventually tasked to build the Ark to endure the flood. With this, we are given an extra layer of why the
Okay, so we're on chapter 10 now. He told you we concluded chapter 9. So all the cries of the earth from all the destruction of these evil, sinful, fallen angels, right? So like I said, all evil, all war, and all this knowledge that man has came from the fallen angels because they committed the greatest sin. The sin was so heavy on their heads, like we're going to see right now in chapter 10, that they were so heavy in sin that they could no longer lift their heads up and look at the heavens. So they couldn't lift their heads up no longer. They were so heavy in sin. So they tried to repent. They they went to Enoch and tried to speak with Enoch and tell him, please give a message to our Father in heaven, because obviously they knew, because Enoch went to them and told them, God told them that they are banished and they will never have forgiveness. So we're going to get into it. The fallen angels. So obviously we have to learn that what they did to this world and why they were punished and sent away, and why they have the need to want to just come back and wreak more havoc, because they have nothing to lose, right? And they have manipulated these false idols like these Travis Scotts and these Drakes and Kylie Jenners. They've all been born and positioned and have always done the rituals for their purpose, not for God ever. They've always rebelled against God. Whether they knew it or not, it's just the way it is. They were born into it. Their parents were part of a coven or a Masonic lodge, or their parents were a part of it. So it's generational, right? They never had the chance to be normal or anything. So they were born and conceived under ritual, and their whole existence has just been ritual after ritual from before they were even born, right? Sorry, let me see some of the comments here before we get back into this, because I don't want to keep you guys too long. It's Friday night. I just want to gather everyone. We have Prince Elvis Jackson here. We got Pomeranian Resistance, as always, close by, right by my side. There's Prince on one side. There's Princess Coco on the other side. So yeah, talk to me, everyone. I'm seeing we got some new people in the house. You got to subscribe to the channel. You got to watch like the 14 hours worth of Travis Scott Astral World, Birthing Ritual, Satanic Ritual, Releasing of the Fallen Angels. Like, I've gone over so much. I've gained so much love and support and new crusaders to the resistance over this past week and a bit, right? So we're all here. This is our show. It's not my show. You know, we're all here, a part of God's army now. Whether you knew there was one or not, there's one now, and here we are. I'm one of the lead representatives of it. And we're exposing the enemy because we are at war. Satan wants the children, and it's the children that he's almost got. 5 to 12-year-olds and 12 to adult, and just basically 5 and up here in Canada and in Ontario are on the chopping block to receive Pfizer's approved new whatever third of the adult dose for 5-year-olds. Curtis Lees is absolutely correct. So yeah, we are at war. Welcome to the war. It's the New World Order taking over, the satanic New World Order, and I'm bringing you news and the history, the real history, our true history, right, live from the devil's playground. So the enemy is the fallen angels. They are superior to us in many ways when it comes to strength and knowledge and power, but not when it comes to the love of God. So that's why they are going to come and try and destroy us and take us with them to hell because they messed up. Right? Mary Pro says to speak on the Austrian lockdown. So yeah, again, this is all Astral World, post-Astral World. We're still in the 666 months. You know, Astral World was 666 months and 6 days. So we're like 666 months and like 15, 18 days now. So it's still 666 months since the founding. And Austria, so Austria is in complete lockdown. I got an email from someone. They have locked down the vaxxed and the unjabbed. Sorry, I'm not going to say these words. Code words, sorry, remind me, code words. So they've locked down everyone for 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, they're going to release only the people that are complying to the stuff and the passport, right? So that's a quick mention. Thank you, Mary. So we're going to get back into chapter 10. This is the enemy that we're dealing with. And you got to know the relationship with God and how you got to see how it all went down. This is the honest truth, our true history here.
Even took place in the first place, suggesting that this extreme measure was not just a necessity to rid the world of the darkness brought upon it by the Watchers, but also a sign of how angry God was that this had happened. With God instructing Uriel to tell Noah to hide himself, it shows us that God had identified one, if not the most righteous man of the time, and that he wished to preserve a man like that, for his offspring would likely embody such merit. As the archangels previously mentioned in chapter 9, God saw everything before it happened, and so it is no wonder why he took extra steps to ensure Noah would safely avoid the desolation on earth until it was time for him to emerge. We come to see a contradiction to the idea of the mortals being blameless, for if they were, God would not have sent the flood which eradicated all life, not just the Nephilim, the Watchers, and any other wicked things. In this, It's probable that on some level, God did blame mankind for falling for the Watcher's tricks, and that after this, he no longer trusted them except for Noah, who seems to have been one of the only people to remain pure. As stated, he wanted Noah to escape, hence sending Uriel to ensure that he did, and therefore his descendants would be preserved, for he wanted more people like Noah and less like the ones who had been deceived. We then see God command Archangel Raphael to hunt down and confront the Watcher Azazel for his crimes against humanity. Here we learn that Azazel is not spared even the slightest of mercy, as God instructs Archangel Raphael, bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is in Duadel, and cast him therein, and place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face, that he may not see light. And on the day of great judgment he shall be cast into the fire. Naturally, Azazel is shown...
See that? This is the war that happened before any of our time. And this is what there's people that know, and this is the secret they're keeping from us. And this was the word of God that was given. This is what the Bible contains. And without the book of Enoch and like the Apocrypha and the others and putting it all together, you're not going to understand. It's such a delicate subject that you need it in its entirety without manipulation and being tainted by the devil's craftiness. You're not going to get it. So as you just saw there, Raphael or Uriel, they came down and they showed no mercy to Azazel, right? And they cast him, as God commanded them, the archangels now. So there's the archangels and then there's the fallen angels. And Azazel was cast into the darkness to await judgment. It says it right there. Before thrown into hell, right? So after judgment. So on the day of great judgment, he shall be cast into fire. So I'm going to show you right here. And on the day of great judgment, he shall be cast into fire. So again, like I said in previous videos, the enemy, God didn't destroy them yet. They were cast into darkness to await judgment and then be cast into the fire. So hell's not yet open. This is to back up my statement saying that hell's not open. The devil wants you to think, like with satanic music videos like Little Nas X, someone said Little Nausea X, where he's riding a pole to hell and hell's not open yet. So they want you to think that they're trapped in hell when they're not trapped. That's the thing. They were only cast into the darkness. And Travis Scott has released, I'm going to show you the ritual because it's the red and blue. So if anyone knows about color codes and color rituals and how the red and blue was used together to open the portal, and red and blue together makes purple. This is where the purple wave comes in, right? So I'm going to find something in this folder here, November 17th. So this picture, I showed it in the previous live. Oh boy, here goes the internet again. So luckily I'm not using it, I'm just showing a picture. So I showed this picture the other day, which represents the fallen angels in the darkness or in limbo. Exactly, J7. J7 says that Ghostbusters was released today, so there's something else to look into. And red and blue pill, Drake's dad in all purple. Exactly. So yeah, here's the red and blue. So there's the fallen angels in limbo, in purgatory, when they were cast into the darkness. As you can see, they have like swords of snakes. They're just demonic now, right? And there's the portal, right? There's the ritual with the energy of the human energy. There's the sexual energy with the youth energy, right? And then they want to switch. They want to trade our soul for their soul, right? And here you go. And look who's at the portal. The demonic entities, which I told you could be Travis Scott and Drake. So yeah, the name of the video is Travis Scott a fallen angel? No, he's not. They're puppets. Not even barely human anymore, right? They're just vessels for these fallen angels to cast their demonic magic and come through to help. Now they're through the portal. Their mission is to prevent God from ever being learned by humanity. And what's about to happen is the rapture. So now that the angels are out, they're going to be able to help the military and these satanic governments pull the biggest cover-up ever known to man, which is God's greatest miracle, rapturing the faithful ones. And when people disappear from this earth, that is the only way people, the whole world, billions will turn to God. And Satan will lose. So now the angels are here. Their mission is to deceive billions, the whole world, and fake an alien invasion and play as these demonic aliens, which have never been seen before, but it's them, it's the fallen angels, right? These are the times we are living in, and it's crazy. Just look at what I'm saying to you here. Rapture, people disappearing, people finding out about God, which is a big no-no in Satan's devil's playground, right? So Naomi says she doesn't want to get left behind. No one wants to get left behind. That's why we need to join God's army now. That's why we need to spread the truth, spread the word, do our work, and just have people aware of what's about to happen. So here's the portal. And notice the colors. One of them is red and one of them is blue. Right? That's why when the portal was open, it was Drake and Travis Scott on stage because they both represent red and blue. And then as you can see, once they'd finished opening the portal, it was the purple hands of the devil coming over the portal, tapping on it. And the hands were purple, right? That's where the purple comes in. That's the red and the blue. And just on Stacey D says, like on Travis' shirt, we've all seen the Travis Scott shirt he performed the whole Astral World ritual in. It was the portal, and on one side was blue people going through the portal, coming out red. There's the red and blue again. Thank you, Stacey D. Right? Prince Garcia says yes. Right? Isn't this incredible? Right? So again, we're exposing the fallen angels. No, Travis Scott is not a fallen angel. He possibly could be possessed by an entity to help the fallen angels, but he's not a fallen angel. Fallen angels are going to come out and wreak havoc on this earth, and their whole goal and mission is to disguise and cover up the rapture as something else. And the only thing anyone else can think of, the only conditioning I have seen going on earth is UFO sightings. Oh, another UFO sighting. More alien this, more alien that on the National Geographic, or more history of alien. No, it's a load of crap, right? Good evening, everyone. Everyone's jumping in. Yeah. So that's the conditioning. Why are they conditioning when it's fake? So here we go. There it is, the red and blue. There's the portal. Hopefully the internet. Hopefully you guys can still hear me because I don't want to be getting shut out. We've all witnessed some of this. Okay, internet's on. I want to finish up this chapter, have a chat with you guys, and not keep you all too long.
And on the day of great judgment, he shall be cast into the fire. Naturally, Azazel is shown extreme prejudice in his pursuit, and he's not only bound by Raphael, suggesting some kind of battle.
Family, what's up?
Outmatched in,
Radicalized
but
online.
also that he is thrown into the darkness. It would appear that Raphael literally carves a chasm into the desert, for which he casts Azazel into. There the Watcher is buried alive with jagged rocks, and he is condemned to remain there until the day of great judgment. So yes, whilst Azazel is bound and buried alive, he does not actually die, and what some believers might draw from this is that Azazel has been, and still is, bound in the darkness.
Princess Essie says, I told my boyfriend aliens are demons and he thinks I'm crazy. Welcome to the resistance. We've all gone through it. You don't think I've been called crazy, insane, doomsday? And as you can see here in the book of Enoch, Azazel was cast into the darkness to await the great day of judgment, which has not yet come, which is less than 10 years where we're in the decade is going to happen. And we'll know once the rapture happens, which is like weeks away, potentially 2022, then the 7 years trial and tribulation, which will take us to judgment when Jesus returns in the cloud, where every eye on this earth will see him, right? This is it. But the enemy is still gonna try and do some more evil to prevent anyone from knowing about God up until the day of judgment, because they're getting cast into hell, and that they're scared. They don't want to be alone in hell with each other. They want to rule. See, they have this sick, twisted thought that they can still be God in hell as long as they take billions of human souls, right? Amen, Lady D. Gaming with Shaz says, what 2022? Don't look at everything that's been happening since this decade begun, 2020. To think that we're like 6 weeks away from 2022 and all we've had is just pretty much hell on earth, from the fires in Australia in the beginning of 2020, from the bombing in like the Middle East, they said was triggering World War III. No, this is World War III, right? All of this is a war for our souls. Potentially, no one knows when the rapture is. I'm not trying to say I know the date, because the Bible says not even the angels in heaven, not even the archangels know when the rapture is. But we know the season because we just know the end is near. We're in the end days, right? That's why they're preparing. And most likely, because they don't know when the rapture is, they're going to have fake alien spaceships in the sky before the rapture happens, so that when the spaceships are there and then the rapture just happens, because it's not going to get held off for anything, it's going to happen no matter what, people will think that the spaceships took those people. That's what they need to prevent people from knowing the truth of God and his power and his miracles, and keeping them ignorant all the way up until the day of judgment.
Under the sands of what some interpret as East Jerusalem in Duodel, or God's Cauldron. This Duodel is an ambiguous place, but it seems that this is not hell, but instead a prison for which God stores the Watchers until Judgment Day. As can be seen from his instructions to Raphael, God intends to cast them into the great fires, or possibly hell, when the time has come. He continues with his instructions, and heal the earth, which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague, and that all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the Watchers have disclosed, and have taught their sons. And the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. Whilst it is unclear if God is still speaking to Raphael, or if this is a general command to the other archangels, what he asks for is quite easy to understand. He wishes for the earth to be healed of the terrors brought upon it by the Watchers, which would be an end to the Watchers' raping of the women, the end of the destruction caused by the Nephilim, and the outright panic that had gripped the earth. He asks the archangels to proclaim the healing of the world, and in a somewhat paradoxical request, asks them not to harm the children of men, despite all the secrets that the Watchers had taught them. So by this, some might say this was God's mercy, in that even though the mortals had learned the forbidden teachings of the Watchers and had passed them on to their children, they would still be exempt from the decimation. He continues to lament that the earth has been corrupted, but proceeds to absolve humanity of any sin as he ascribes it all upon Azazel. Yet again, Azazel takes responsibility for teaching mankind everything.
Again, That's why the world was ended. God had to end it because of the corruption and the murder and just everything. And what is happening again in the world today? Man is like billions of people. Mass all over this earth are being corrupted. The DNA is being changed as we have been sitting here having our show, exposing the enemy. It's not the government. The government is nothing. They serve these fallen angels. There is no other enemy but the fallen angels. So when you hear of these people doing satanic rituals and who do they serve? The devil, yeah, but the devil is and was an angel and is a fallen angel posing as some godly dark entity because he wishes and they're so scared of hell. The book of Enoch shows you and tells you. That's why it's so important. We'll go through it. Maybe not all of it tonight. We'll finish up this chapter, but it's all in there. And that's why I'm dying to share it with you. And then we're going to have to get onto the other subjects. I've seen the messages. People are confused and want to know about the Baphomets. People want to know about flat earth. So this all ties in. Be patient, subscribe, stay connected, and we'll all together expose the enemy and pull our history, our true history together so we can stand against the wiles of the devil today in the devil's playground. Right? So let me read some of these comments. We got a lot of people in here. Susie Rochelle says, yes, flat earth talk, please. Not tonight, so don't jump out the chat because you heard me say flat earth. We're going to stick on fallen angels. We need to expose the enemy. Yes, as we know, Travis Scott posed as a fallen angel on his album released in 2016. Yeah, Susie Rachel's here for it all. And that's what I'm here to deliver. Everything from the deception of religion, because I need to just make sure I put it out there. I know we're going over the Bible and the book of Enoch, but I'm not a religious person. I don't belong to any church. I grew up, I was born like basically into an atheist household. My father didn't believe in religion. He didn't believe in the Bible or the church or anything. He thought it was rubbish. He thought he was his own creator, so it was very, very against the establishments. But he was right, but he didn't really seek out the truth. I was also against all these establishments, which is right, but Satan tricks you to go against these establishments purposely, and then he associates the Bible and Jesus with one of them, which appears to be one of the most evil ones today for a reason. You don't know what these priests get up to, right? They show you on purpose. They can hide stuff, but yeah, they show you so you can have this foul taste in your mouth and turn your nose up and be like, ew, that those churches and this, I want nothing to do with the Bible and Jesus. That's how he gets you to turn your nose up and go away from the truth and not seek it anymore. Now someone called. I hope it didn't disrupt this live. Let me know if you can still hear me. Yeah, someone tried to call me. I forgot to turn off notifications. So if I'm on mute, I might have to end it. Can you guys hear me? Because, yeah, we're doing a big worldwide event tomorrow. You guys can hear me? Okay, good. Because stop calling me. If you're on this live, stop phoning me. You're disrupting this. Trying to get all this truth out here to these people. My beautiful ladies and gentlemen across the earth, boys and girls, all ages, all races. We're all here in God's army. There's no division here. Just truth is bringing us all together. Yes, Diane. Yes, Karen. Roswell, New Mexico is devoted to alien marketing once a year. Supposedly aliens were spotted years ago. Yeah, that's more conditioning and keeping the mind open to oh, could this be? And then boom, we're just going to be hit with it. And then we're going to be like, oh my God, it was true. No, it was never true. It's just a crafty scheme, very manipulated, very patient. Like, it doesn't have to happen overnight. They have the time. It's the fallen angels. Again, the enemy is the fallen angels, not yet cast into hell. They were only cast into the darkness to await judgment. And it was in that darkness that they're still able to, with their power and their essence, get man to summon them through pentagrams and full circle witchcraft rituals to summon the fallen angels as these dark demonic entities while they're trapped in limbo, to get them to do the dirty work. It was them. So we all know people like Chris Angel is a magician and performs seances and had a birthing ritual on the day of the festival, right? Astral feast. So again, Travis Scott tweeted out that it's going to be a feast on Friday, yet there was no food to be purchased at the event. People could barely get any water to drink. So yeah, what was there to feast on? Who was feasting? There were no hot dogs, no fries. Yes, Dickie, he did. So if you check back his tweets, hopefully people screenshot it and saved it. This guy was tweeting, it's going to be a feast on Friday. So everything they did that led up to it, they told you, because Satan has to tell you what he's going to do to you. And if you still show up and use your free will to go, then that's how it's going. And then they're going to continue to manipulate our free will all the way up until Judgment Day. So be aware. Cover yourselves in the blood of Christ. Join the resistance. Put on the full armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And that, my dear crusaders, my newfound loves, that is the fallen angels. Right? So hopefully I can get back onto this and finish it up for everyone.
Despite having only taught them about swords, shields, knives, murder, and warfare. Again, probably because these were the worst things. But this does create a bit of a conundrum that doesn't seem to be answered here, and that's whether humanity does perish in the flood, or if God spares them, or that perhaps he absolves them of their sin and takes them into heaven, but does in fact end their mortal life. Perhaps this is why he tells the archangels that the children of men will not perish, as in they won't perish by their hand, but instead by his own.
Angel Feather,
as he
yes,
drowns
hello.
them in the flood, but gives them
Correct.
a free pass into heaven, because the sin was technically not their fault. How were they supposed to resist angelic beings after all? Perhaps in this, God takes responsibility for the fall, and therefore makes an unprecedented decision. God then turns his attention to Gabriel, and he is given the momentous task of taking down the Nephilim, something he is shown to be tactfully skillful with. He tells him, proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication, and the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth. Send them one against the other, that they may destroy each other in battle. For length of days shall they not have. Yet again, God is pretty clear and cutthroat with how he wants his archangels to handle the situation. He describes the Nephilim in several ways. Bastards, on the account that they are products out of wedlock. Reprobates, on the account that they were unprincipled and more beast than man. And children of fornication, on the account that they were conceived on the merits of fornication and nothing else. Destroy the children of fornication, he tells Gabriel, and to cause them to go forth against one another. In this, not only is Gabriel shown to be a destroyer of the Nephilim, but also one who possesses the power to turn them against each other. You might say that this was easily done, considering that the Nephilim had already turned cannibal and probably had no qualms about fighting one another. But you might also say that this is quite uncharacteristic of the Gabriel in the Bible. This Gabriel in the book of Enoch is much less a messenger angel, but instead more of a warrior, equivocal to the likes of Michael. Furthermore, some might say he adopts a more insidious fighting style, by manipulating the Nephilim to fight against each other, thus removing him from the bloodshed and from even getting his hands dirty. This seems like a very dishonorable way of combat, though it might also be argued that Gabriel is delivering God's message, and thus serving his role as a messenger angel, by inciting the Nephilim against one another. Finally, God turns his attention to the big bad of the bunch in Michael, and tasks him with the capturing of Semjaza and any other watchers that still remain on the earth. He tells him, "Go, bind Semjaza and his associates, who have united themselves with the women, so as to have defiled themselves with them in all their uncleanness. And when their sons have slain one another, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth, till the day of their judgment and of their consummation, till the judgment that is forever and ever is consummated." Much like Azazel, Semjaza is also bound and thrown into the valleys of the earth, possibly underground. Whilst the duodel that Azazel is thrown into is not specified, it's possible that God is also referring to this same space. For like with Azazel, these watchers who are cast here are also to be held here until the end of days. Interestingly, God also adds another stipulation in Semjaza's capture, and that's that Michael should wait until all the Nephilim have slain each other, and so that Semjaza and the other watchers are condemned to witness the death of their offspring. You'll also notice that God refers to them as their beloved ones, suggesting that perhaps on some level, the watchers did maintain some paternal feeling for their monstrous offspring, and that it would hurt them to see them butcher each other. With this, God's anger is absolute, and there is no doubt that he is mortified with the watchers, and wishes for them to suffer. He continues of Semjaza and the other watchers, "In those days they shall be led off to the abyss of fire, and to the torment and the prison in which they shall be confined forever. And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from thenceforth be bound together with them, to the end of all generations." So much like with Azazel, Semjaza and the other watchers are destined to experience the same fate. They too will be cast into hell, where they will remain forever, and anyone who sins will end up there with them. It paints a scary picture for any would-be sinners, for if they do not follow God's rules, they will be subject to spend eternity in the company of the watchers, those who, in the eyes of God, along with the Nephilim, were the most foul. God concludes to Michael, "And destroy all the spirits of the reprobates, and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind. Destroy all wrong from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to an end, and let the plant of righteousness and truth appear, and it shall prove a blessing. The works of righteousness and truth shall be planted in truth and joy forevermore." Again, there is another statement that mankind are the victims this time around, and mankind are the ones who have been wronged. With this in mind, God tasks Michael with removing all other evils from the earth and replacing them with more wholesome aspects, these being plants of righteousness and truth, perhaps a metaphor for Michael's presence on the earth, and for him to inspire these virtues upon those who still remain. With these commands given to his archangels, God seems content that when all is said and done, truth and joy will prevail, and the world will be a good place once again. God then proceeds to declare that those who are righteous will be spared, either spared of the flood or spared of enduring any more distress at the hands of the Watchers or Nephilim. He continues that the whole world will be planted with trees and will become full of blessings, and amongst those trees will be vineyards, and wine will flow in abundance, crops will be in great surplus, and man will come to know a world free from the terrors that had come to plague the world. He finally predicts in the conclusion of chapter 10, "And all the children of men shall become righteous, and all nations shall offer adoration and shall praise me, and all shall worship me, and the earth shall be cleansed from all defilement, and from all sin, and from all punishment, and from all torment. And I will never again send them upon it from generation to generation, and forever." Here in what appears to be this new world that he envisions, God promises never to send upon it torment like that brought upon by the Watchers, the Nephilim, or the ensuing flood. For in this new world, there will be no cause for such devastation, for all will be righteous. In chapter 11, which is only a few lines long, he continues his description of this world, saying that in these days, he will open up the store chambers of blessings, which are in the heavens, and that he will send these blessings unto the earth, and over the work and labor of the mortals. With this, God shows us his intentions and how much he wants for mankind to live in peace and harmony. It might also be said that this was his way of making up to the mortals for what they had endured at the hands of the Watchers, and that in a way, perhaps he felt partly responsible for what had transpired. These few chapters prove to be the most compelling of the Book of Enoch, partly because of the vivid descriptions of destruction, but also because it is one of the only instances across biblical apocrypha that we see the vengeance of the archangels. Not only this, but we are treated to some fresh concepts, such as an angelic civil war between two groups of angels, those who are loyal to God and those who have defied him. A fantasy element is infused with the text, as we are introduced to the bulbous, hulking monsters that are the Nephilim, and through these ideas we get a most compelling story that traditional readers and believers may be pleasantly surprised by. Furthermore, if that wasn't enough, we also get a glimpse of a pre-flood world, and are able to expand on the biblical narratives provided in Genesis, such as why God chose Noah to escape and why the flood was even brought about in the first place. In the next few chapters, we'll be discussing an event that took place just before.
So yeah, the fallen angels. As you saw there, Archangel Michael, he was commanded by God to take out the offspring of the fallen angels, which was the giants. So he turned them against each other, which then, that's where we get the term Clash of the Titans. That was the children of the fallen angels, the offspring of the hybrid human fallen angel giants. They went against each other, right? So the archangels are good. It was the fallen angels that did all the destruction. That was the end of chapter 10. And there's so much more. You guys can all check and look into it. Let me know if you want more. But this is all exposing the enemy, the fallen angels. We don't know of, the archangels, they remain in heaven. So humans have never like interacted with them, only the fallen ones, which was the biggest, most forbidden sin. And we'll get into how the fallen angels tried to repent. They longed to go back to heaven. They spoke with Enoch. They told Enoch to write up, a peace treaty with God to forgive them and bring them home. Enoch prayed and gave that message to the Lord, and then fell asleep and had a dream come to him. And in that dream, God showed him heaven with the crystal floors and the crystal ceiling. And then he also showed him hell. And he said, this is the fate of the fallen angels. They will not be forgiven. And then when Enoch woke up, the angels were all there surrounding him. And he told them, yeah, you will not be forgiven. And then they were just distraught. They all wept because, the weight of their sin was so heavy on their heads that they could no longer look up to the heaven anymore. So this isn't fantasy. This isn't religious babblings from books that I see people are trying to say are contradicting themselves, right? There is evidence of these fallen angels. It's all across this earth. There's evidence from the signs and symbols that these false idols like Travis Scott use. As you can see in the thumbnail to this live, it's the cover to Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight, where he's posing as a fallen angel with black damaged angel wings. Obviously fallen, correct? So hopefully I can bring up some clips of these fallen angels that I just showed you in the book of Enoch, because they do exist. And I have physical evidence from today's earth to show that yesterday's world was real, because yesterday's world that was flooded somehow is still here, and it's been hidden, and it's been occupied by the governments for the last few hundred years since they found it and dug it out of all the mud. So we're going to see why there's all this angel symbolism, why the fallen angel statues are all over earth, in the highest places, and every city worshipped still, because they were worshipped once and they refuse to let that worship go, whether, especially when they get cast into the lake of fire. They want to rule there too and be worshipped in hell by humans. So let me see some questions. Mary Pro says, the Gospel of Thomas is another missing text. That is amazing. It is Jesus' words. Yes. Again, Jesus Christ. Again, this is way down the line, but Jesus came because obviously after the flood and after all the corruption that the angels did, God saved Noah, but yet corruption still has found its way. The devil still found a way to corrupt man and have humans, Babylon, turn against God and rebel. So God, obviously, we know, destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah and eventually sent Jesus to he said, this world has fallen. There's no saving it. It's eventually going to end. That's why Jesus came and said, yeah, this is a fallen world. So the beginning was the fallen angels coming with Adam and Eve. The middle was Jesus, and we're here at the end. So just by the middle, God knew and sent Jesus and said, yeah, this world will end. Prepare. And that's where the Bible comes in and the Word of God. So again, this isn't religious ramblings. I don't belong to a church. I'm not a pastor or a preacher. I'm a truth seeker. I see the signs and symbols. Hopefully everyone here has seen the previous, 10 to 14 hours worth of live exposing Travis Scott and the fallen angel ritual, the birthing of the Antichrist, the birthing of the demonic spirits that are now taking over this earth. So excuse me, I need to go get a drink quickly. I'm going to sit. I'm really quick with this. I'll be back. I'm going to talk to you guys. Hope you're all enjoying Friday night. I'm going to let you know what I'm up to this weekend and where we're going tomorrow. Give me 2 secs. So really hope you're all enjoying the Book of Enoch. I know it's new to a lot of people. It was new to me up until like 4 or 5 years ago. So it's still very recent. Come Coco, we got Coco here. Everyone say hi to Princess Coco. Don't be shy, baby. So yeah, we had a great day yesterday. I took these guys out to a couple malls. We did some United Non-Compliance, expressed our rights and freedoms. That's what the resistance does. We crusade. You know, we try to show people, you know, that yeah, we're still vibrating on those high vibrations of love and freedom and peace and unity, and to God, not this fear-driven, government-issued mandate. Get everyone scared. Give us your children. You know, this is wild. So the fallen angels cannot be trusted. Know the difference between fallen angels, the archangels. We have the information. It's finally come to light. It's always been there, but just been very hard to get a hold of until the world we're in now came about with its information age, because we're in a new age of information, age of unity, age of enlightenment. I'm not a new ager, so don't get confused once I mention those kind of things, but it's just what we're going through. It's the end of days. The biblical end of days is all of that. And again, not to be the bearer of bad news or be doomsday and a Debbie Downer, but in all reality, it had to end someday. We all knew it would. And we're going to be able to witness it. And a lot of people witnessing it are not going to fully understand and comprehend the truth of what we're going through, because it's going to be absolutely manipulated. Right? And that's what the power of these fallen angels have and can do. And that's how they use their false idols like Travis Scott to use their signs and symbols, to do the rituals, to gain our trust and our infatuation with them, with the Rihannas and the Chris Browns. It's not just Travis Scott, it's every single one of them. They all have all the same art. None of them are unique. They're not these amazing creators that are just blessed with this art and skill and talent. That's not the case. So let's talk to everyone, because I'm not going to keep you guys. This was Friday night. I'm sure you got other things to do. Maybe not. Let me know if you got. I know someone mentioned they wanted me to talk about the 5G military weapon in the world wars and how that was possibly used again. Modern version, a different updated tweaked version for Astral World. So I wish we can get some more testimonials. We know we've heard people say they felt the energy or something being pulled from them. I tried to show you how, with the manipulation of what these pharmaceutical companies are putting out with the government mandates from Pfizer and Moderna and Johnson & Johnson, it contains a metal called graphene oxide. So potentially a lot of these kids had that in them. Millions and billions of people have been sold on the fear by their TVs and have run out to the nearest clinic or pop-up shop or alleyway, wherever they're doing these things. It's disgusting. Outside of a strip club here in Toronto in the summer. Okay, so Naomi says, yes, they were activated. Eliza Boswick says, greetings all. Yeah, greetings everyone. Naomi says, frequency attacks. FUK YouTube says, I ain't going out tonight, witch's moon. Exactly, yeah. There's so much rituals going on this weekend. So this is the first blood moon since the angels have been released. So I'm going to keep saying it. Fallen angel ritual. There was some evil entity, Antichrist, being born through the birthing ritual. I showed you all the birth connections with it in the last lives. So yeah, it was an amazing series. I've honestly been blessed to be chosen to be able to have the insight to give you guys everything that's been given to me by God. I'm not the only one that has it. I'm not here hooting and hollering and gloating, saying that, yes, listen to me, I'm the only one. There's many other people. I learned from a lot of people. There's this great channel. I learned a lot of signs and symbols. A call for an uprising. So a lot of you, he hasn't made a lot of posts like he was a few years back, but I've been on this truth journey, and channels like that were great. I never thought I'd one day be sitting here going over astral world and portals and the fallen angel demonic spirits coming out, but here we are. Asia Boot Francis, Attack on Titan, the Clash of the Titans, the Fallen Angels, the Giants. Exactly, I did mention that. Eliza Boswick says I studied the Essenes way earlier and some of the Rustaway, and just finished the Bible and rereading it now. Congrats, welcome again. It's a blessing taking in this truth and this knowledge now during this time. It's necessary. That's what we're here to do, is educate, expose. This isn't a cult. You know, there's no money involved, so don't worry. I'm not here asking for money. It does help, but, you know, I have a clothing line. So if you want to support, you can go on to my website, jointheresistance.ca. It's not very pretty and polished, but you know, it was thrown together because of the urgency and how much, you know, the lack of time we have to save as much people as we can and prepare them for what this world is inevitably about to go through, which is trial and tribulation. And all the signs are there, all the rituals are there, and trial and tribulation could not possibly happen without all these steps leading up to it. So if you want camo gear, if you want hats, you can support me that way. I'll send them out in the mail. I've already sent out Crusaders gear to Europe, to the Americas, to all over. So there's people representing, putting on the full armor of God, waking up to, just being blessed to wake up now, whether it's weeks before, months before, just being able to wake up before it happens and have some kind of information and know that there's a resistance, that people are crusading, people are representing, God, people are building God's army, because that's what we're doing. We want the numbers to grow. We want people to be awake and enjoy these last days. There's no need to sit back and be scared. Don't be scared. Once you know the truth, the only person scared of the truth is the devil. That's why the devil and these fallen angels work so hard to hide the truth, to prevent you from finding out the truth. But remember, they're not allowed to just destroy the truth. It has to be there. So it's there, but they just manipulate it and cover it with lies, and mirror images of the truth. So just to confuse you. So there'll be so many options, so many different versions of the Bible. You don't know which one to pick and choose, so you just forget about it. And now the time has come where we have to pick and choose, because they're going to take it all the way to Judgment Day, and people are not going to know. The fact that there's going to be people on this earth that don't know of God's existence all the way up until Judgment Day, that's how big this deception is. So the fact that we're all here, hundreds of people, I've had that, like I showed you in the beginning of the video, this channel has reached almost 4 million accounts with this truth, right? Millions of views, consistent thousands. So we need to grow this army and spread this truth. We're using, we are the weapon forming against the evil, the light. No weapon formed against us shall ever prosper, and I'm exposing it all. And it's weak. Once you see it, there's nothing to fear and be scared of. It's actually laughable. That's the point that I am at now, that I was scared at first. It was like mind-boggling, and to think that there was people in this world that could hide something like this for so long, the amount of deception, the amount of evil that had to happen to pull this off. So it's very sad, but you come to the realization, and then you realize that, you can actually do something about it. And you realize maybe you are chosen, Because we're obviously all chosen, we're all born here in this time, not just to sit back with popcorn and watch it like a movie. We all have a specific role to play. You know, whether you're a troll in the chats, spreading disinformation, or whether you're in here uniting with your fellow brothers and sisters, with your fellow crusaders, with your fellow resistors. You know, that time is now. Otherwise, I won't be here. Like, it's urgent. You know, I'm not begging and pleading. I'm just giving the information because that's what we need so we can make our own minds, right? And I hope I've delivered enough, made enough connections, right? In this astral world, you know, I don't want to keep saying it, but this is the big one. This is the massive one. Like, portals don't open every day. And the fact that they did it and on the date that they did it is just unbelievable. And that's who we are dealing with. Their knowledge and their power is superior to us. We are man. But they in no way figure or form like more special in the eyes of the Lord. We all know their fate, but our fate is not yet sealed. So I'm going to go back to the comments. Hopefully I'm giving some good stuff. Naomi says, Nico is sounding the alarm, waking us all. So yeah, it's not going to be too long on this live. I'm going to be out there. The resistance is going to be out in Niagara Falls in the south of Ontario. And I'm going to be speaking there, trying to wake up the thousands that are going to show up for the worldwide rally. We're going to have many other speakers, but me personally, I'm bringing the truth of the Lord, bringing the truth of revelation and the mark of the beast, right? So code words about to come up. This is how you say it in reverse. Someone sent it to me. Dovik is the mark of the beast. It's a precursor. It's one of it. Like, there's not, like, there will be an end result. So the one after the rapture, during tribulation, the one that the Antichrist gives, that's going to be it. But all these are just, it's definitely part of it. Divik, yes, Naomi. So yeah, stay away from all that nonsense. Get into the books. Get onto this channel. Try and watch all the other previous videos. Send me messages. I take calls. I reply, respond. I'm sorry if there's someone here and you're the unlucky somehow person I didn't get to respond to, but I've been messaging everyone. I've been seeing all the great emails, some amazing information. So yeah, talk to me. What's everyone up to this weekend? Anything new and exciting going on in your towns for the weekend? Is anyone close to a worldwide rally? Not sure how I knew, I just did. Says Lindsay Noel Love. Hopefully everyone in here is subscribed to the channel, because this is our channel, our show. So anything we're going to talk about is going to be depending on what you guys send me and share with us. So, and of course, it's pretty much exposing the evil, so it's going to be based around that. Pennsylvania, Mary Pro. Maryland to Jesus, everything doesn't seem real anymore. Yeah, I know. That's where I come in. I'm trying to restore a little bit of grip on reality. Like I said, me and the babies, we were at the malls yesterday here in Toronto. So we went to Sherway Gardens, mask free, passport free. There's a few of us. We just go in there. We went to the food court. And as you know, you're not allowed to dine in the food court unless you show passport. We just walked right in, sat down. I got the dogs here, sat them on the table. We put it on live, so you can see that live on my Instagram from the mall yesterday. And then we went shopping afterwards. And people loved it. People were clapping and saying hi to us, saying, yes, the resistance. Like, how's the resistance going? It's like, we're here. It's like, it's almost 2 years in. Still, no mask. No Divot, Jabaroo, nothing. And people need that. When they see us, even though we can't see their faces because they all got the mask on, we're putting a smile on under that mask. And if anyone's strong enough, they'll pull off their masks too. We get those people. So yeah, we need to get out there and live our lives, not comply The more they comply, the more we live, the more they separate. But we got to show them, look, there's still people living lives, living free, living great, with big smiles on their face, glowing, not in fear, nothing to worry about. And we look healthier than ever. Alex M. So, wants to know what kind of dog is this? I have two. There's the Pomeranian Resistance, so they're Poms. Here's my babies. They love their mall trips. They love their rallies and marching through the city, united non-compliance. These are the babies, right? Yeah, so this is Prince Elvis Jackson, the boy. Princess Coco Chanel, the girl. There we are. Yes, there's the babies. Always by my side, so if you don't see them, they're just lying down, chilling. Otherwise, you'll see them playing and fighting on me, running around, jumping around, so they're always close by. They won't let me get too far away, that's for sure. And I don't want them far away from me at all either. Yes, real men are kind to animals, Rhiannon says. Susie Rachel says the names. Yes, me and these names. No one will buy or sell without it. Read Revelation. So yes, Yeshua is my banner. We are here. Been saying it for 3-4 years now. We are in Revelation, and it cannot be any more clear to anyone that is awake and that has been seeking truth and has been trying to connect dots. The biggest dot to connect is the fact that, sorry, we are now at a point world over where people are struggling to buy and sell without this mark, this QR code, this chip. Not that it's never been like that. Like I showed you before, in Canada and Ontario here, we have a social insurance number. So they call it a SIN card. So in order to work in this province, in